Welcome everyone. The topic is all about people management matrix. A very sweet and short presentation which will give you as an eye opener as what exactly is a matrix organization and how do we manage employees thereby. So basically I will give you a brief introduction. I'll get you with a background, the matrix structure of an organization, building of an organization, shared vision, human resources, management efforts, and the conclusion thereof. These are the things that will be kept in notice for you to understand all together. Remember, introduction is basically nothing but two superior. You are reporting to at least two superior, if not more, at least two superior. For my convenience and for your understanding, I have given a matrix organization out here. But believe me or not, this might not be very. This is true, but you at times in practical level you might actually report to more than two superiors. Remember, this is a gentleman who is actually reporting to two-person altogether, one out here, the other one out here. And you can name it, and this is true for all the gentlemen out here. So we are talking about sales, we are talking about product managers, and then there's a sales manager that this gentleman or the lady would be working. Similarly for finance officers and the product manager, that people are going to work around it. This is what we are looking into it, and likely reporting more than of one function and one operational department, and then there can be based on a particular site or particular um, anything that you want to go around it. So there might be certain other ambivalent thing that is pertinent. Now remember, this is what a matrix organization is all about. A matrix organization where you have a number of reportees and a number of reporting. So background is way back in 80s when companies were redefining strategies and operation. Why? Because of the globalization of the market. When the market was opening up, when there was an intense competition, well, there was an acceleration as PLC. PLC stands for product life cycle. Remember, a life cycle of a product, or for that matter, any company, is almost like a bell curve, wherein in the early part of the things are very struggling. Then probably it is a steep phase, and then it stabilizes before it starts to decline altogether. So this is what we are looking at, is an acceleration of PLCs, the product life cycle. The complexity of the relationship is also contributed towards the background of building up of a matrix based organization, and this is what we are going to learn around. Now, what were the traps? There was strategic trap. Why? Because simple solution to complex problem. Something which was very simple to a very complex issues. Things were not clarified. A finance guy would always be obsessed with the financial transactions, remember. But as a product manager, the financial transaction would be much more liberally explained and understood by the product manager thereby. Similarly, this is where the holistic picture would be coming out to the chief executive officer. This is what strategic traps are all about it. This is what structural traps are all about it. It is a complex organizational structure that comes around. It's definitely as a matrix organization, absolutely it will means a lot of trappings altogether. Why? Because you have a lot of activities that needs to be taken care of. That is what we are looking at all point of time, and we can be changed every now and then. This is what we are looking. So matrix structures would be talking about anything that was fashionable in way back in 70s and 80s, 50 years back. What we are talking about, it is all about parallel reporting, all about formal mechanism. This was into black and white. Everybody knew whom to support. So probably if a person wants to avail a leave, he needs or she needs to inform or get approval from two, three, four bosses, if that is the number of bosses that this particular person reports to. So it's multiple information channels that comes around it, and overlap of responsibility. Now this is where the duplication of the works goes around it. That is what the matrix structures was, either prevalent or vibrant and so on and so forth, that has been there. But in reality, Matrix proved all but unmanageable. This is what happened with dual reporting. Did I say just for a single cause of availing a leave, a person has to get confirmation from more than two, three different persons? So it's basically a duplication of work. And let us understand very, very, very implicitly, if I have to avail a leave and I get an approval from one of my superiors and the other superior does not give, what does it mean? It means I am not going to enjoy the leaf. On the other hand, they will not be brushing in the right side of the ego of one of the superiors who is approved. So in a sense it becomes a distasteful situation in altogether. So dual reporting conflict comes around it. Proliferation of channel is an information logjam that comes up. Too much of information, too much of logging and clogging that happens, and overlapping of responsibilities is the tough battle that comes around it. Just give you an example where one of my seniors would be availing or approving leave, the other is not doing around it. So it becomes a conflict zone for them rather than me. Being me, I remain a minuscule player of the games. This is all about tough battle that we are talking around. So distance barrier is all about confusions and conflict. This is what happens with it. I am a dissatisfied internal customers if I don't manage to avail leave. Somebody else is a dissatisfied internal customer because his approval did not have the same weightage. Somebody else ego might be satisfied, and probably this might be repeated the next time against another employee another time. Overall, it is all not working in unison for the company at the best case scenario. We will talk about shifting of the issue of this shifting of the focus. Now, what is the issue of strategy? Is all about people, all about processes. It is all about the ingenious plan as being viable or flexible. This is what we are looking into it. Elegant posting that comes around. This is which we you need to understand we need to understand the individual capacity of the person or the employee that works around it. This is the elegant structure. So shift of focus is on strategies, on ingenious plans, and the that comes around. Building an organization purely on structural terms is all about organizational physiology. That system that allows the flow of information or the curtailment of the flow of information. And then is the organizational psychology. It is all about values, norms, and belief, the ethos of the organization that is being built upon. So what does that matrix organization building stresses upon? It is the organizational physiology and the organization psychology. Remember, psychology is all about the organization culture. Physiology is all about the reporting structures and the ornogram that comes around it. Building an organization rather than installing a new structure. What does this mean? It means we need to have a clear, developed corporate vision. We need to have people who can be managed thoroughly when regularly, and there's an integrated individual thinking. So at the end of the day, this is what we are looking into it. There has to be a focus, absolutely, as far as the clear corporate vision is concerned, as far as the human resource management is concerned, as well as the strategy and action plan. There need to be a cohesive force that needs to be built. Building a shared vision is all about clarity of expression. It is all about continuity and consistency. Yes, let me allow me to disclose everything about clarity of expression. This is what is vision is all about it. If there by clarity, continuity, and consistency, the vision should be clear. It should be unison and in unison, irrespective of the time, and there should not be any changes ever and then. So developing of the human resources is a capable manager's scarcest resources. That is what we are looking into it. Manager, employees are the most vital of the resources. Capabilities of managers into building blocks of an organization. Remember always this thing. It is the organization, it is the managers who builds up, who makes the lot of the organization there. So that is what we need to understand. Leaders in recruitment and development assignment, that is their definition. Then we have to develop the human resources. in terms of recruitment, yes, to have hire the right person at the right price, to train and develop them, to inculcate the same vision, the same process, the same hierarchy, the same motivation that is driving the existence of the organization. Have a career path management, have succession planning every now and then, that would be making them relevant altogether. New perspective through personal experience, what we are looking at. Co-opting of management efforts become very specialized and isolated. Managers tries to become an island in themselves. This should not be there. This should be desisted. As a result of a matrix based organization, information gets filtered and everybody comes to know about what exactly is happening. Respond paraquely to intrusions. That is what we are going to do about it, even when the overall corporate interest is at stake. So, as a conclusion, what do I say? We should have third generation strategy, look way ahead of time. We should have second generation organization, look at least a generation organization in terms of your process, and first generation manager, as in as of today, is the hands on manager that we are going to build upon it. A third generation strategy is the second generation organization, and the first generation managers who are manning the show on a day to day basis. Remember, performance is of pivotal importance and structure is less. The challenge is not to build a matrix structure, but it is to create a matrix of minds of the manager, is what we are all aspiring to be. Remember this word: third generation strategy, second generation organization, and first generation manager. With that, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.